Good morning, family. Good morning, family. It is Sunday, and it's time for the Fight to Share report. You know what it is, how we do this every Sunday. Riding solo this morning, so I'd appreciate you if you put some comments in the chat. I can put them up. We can discuss them. We got a packed show today for you, so you're going to have a good time. Happy Resurrection Sunday. If you're offended by me saying that, it's not my issue. Happy Resurrection Sunday. Listen, it's going to be a great show. We had some pretty good fights yesterday, Friday. So I'm excited about talking about it. See you in a second. It can stay in the 30s. I'm good with it. 20s, 30s. I'm good with it.
When you got that natural insulation, bro, it's cool. I get it.
Real men come from the north, so we can deal with.
Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. That sums it all up. Let's
we can deal with the cold.
I'm saying these names not because they're essentially the best fighters out there, which we can make a case for Shakur Stevenson, definitely. They just look that much better than whoever they fight.
I think he might want to keep this thing on the feet and stay any way possible. Stay away from that guillotine choke. He was squeezing Buddy's face in the last fight and put him out.
Come on, dog. Let's fight.
Welcome to the Fighter Share Report.
What's going on, family? Hey, I'm so glad you guys tuned in to be with me today. Happy to be here. It's Sunday. It's Resurrection Sunday. Just a day of reflection and refreshing to understand the gifts that we have and why that we're here. So listen, let's get into the recap of Bellator 255. Listen, Friday night was a good night. It was a good night for fights. It was a good night for Bellator. They had a great showing. Put on a tremendous card. Was very happy to see it. So we're going to get into it. Starting off with the first fight of the evening. Kana Watanabe defeated Alejandra Lara. Man. If you saw the entrance when this woman came dancing down the runway and danced into the ring, the octagon rather, that was one of the best entrances that I've seen since I've been watching combat sports, and she looked very good doing it. Kana Watanabe actually defeated Alejandra Lara by decision, split decision, 28-29, 29-28, 29-28. Very good fight. Very good fight. Good on the feet. Good when it went to the ground. I was impressed by both of them. The way they handled themselves. Just the way they fought to their strengths. And, fight could have gone either way, but it was a very good fight. Very close fight. As you can see with the split decision, the fight could have gone either way. So the next one was Usman Nurmagomedov. Defeated Mike Hamill. Now, my partner said Usman was the younger brother of Khabib. No, Usman is the younger cousin of Khabib Nurmagomedov. And it wasn't even really close, although one judge had the decision 29-28, but the other two had it 30-27, 30-27, which makes you ask, what was that judge looking at? But it was a good fight. He had a really good showing for himself. Interesting to see if he stays with Bellator or goes with UFC. I think he'd stay with Bellator. And then we go to Terrell Fortune defeated Jack May by strikes, and I think it was 3:16 of round one. Very good fight. The co-main, Jason Jackson defeated Naaman Gracie. Who? A Gracie? Yes, another Gracie. Naaman Gracie went down to defeat by unanimous decision. All three judges had a 29-28 for Jason Jackson. Very good showing for both of them. Jason Jackson put on a very good fight, though. Then when you look at the finals, you got Patricia Pitbull, who they have listed as Patricia Ferreira. He defeated Emmanuel Sanchez by guillotine choke, round 1, 335. It was a big build-up to that fight. Looked like it was going to be one of those fights that just kind of stretched out and was a good fight. And then round 1. And that was for a title. So Patricia held on, Pitbull held on to his title. It was it's hard to say that was a good fight, but it was, and until it wasn't. So that's one of those. I say, yeah, it was good until it wasn't. But I was very, I don't want to say impressed because you've been watching Patricia Pitbull and his brother for a while. But yeah, it was a good fight. It was a good fight. Bellator had a good card. It was well done. For those of you who have watched it, you remember the former UFC referee, Big John McCarthy. He is a commentator in there, and Hank Goldberg, who used to be the voice of the UFC, moved over to Bellator. He wasn't doing this fight, though. They had another commentator, but the fight itself went very well. I was impressed with it. It was on Showtime. Mauro Real was actually there with Big John McCarthy this past Friday night. So I guess he'll be doing a lot of the Showtimes. I hope they keep Hank Goldberg. Just to me, he's better than Mauro Real. Not saying that Mauro Real is not a good commentator, but Hank Goldberg has a lot more knowledge of the sport. All right, moving on. Listen, I needed my partner here to talk about this one, but did I get the? I might have gotten the spelling. No, I got the spelling right. Okay, Jamal Herring, Carl Frampton. Very good fight from Dubai. It was yesterday afternoon. I want to tell you, a lot of people forget that Carl's nickname is the Jackal. Carl the Jackal Frampton. And they call him that for a reason. He's a 2-division world champion. He was vying to be the first 3-division world champion from the country of Ireland. And it was a big deal because he said if he did not win the fight, that he would retire. So going in, there was all this pressure felt like on him. Plus, Jamel Herring is taller and has a 7-inch reach advantage. 7-inch reach advantage. And Jamel Herring did not fight small. He fought taller. He fought like he had that reach advantage. He was able to keep Frampton not just on the end of his jab, but when Frampton fought to come in, he ate a lot of uppercuts. Jamel Herring won the first 4 rounds easily. Frampton came on in the 5th round, and I think a lot of people were giving him that 5th round. The 6th round, he went down, got up, continued to fight. The 7th round, he went down, got up, and then eventually turned his back on Jamel Herring after he was being peppered with punches. So, obviously at that point, you're giving up. The ref stops the fight. Jamel Herring wins by knockout to defend for the second time his title. It was a very good fight. Jamel Herring fought a textbook fight against Frampton, using his length and his height and his size. He was never really in jeopardy. He did get his eye cut, the cut on his eye from the headbutt from the previous fight, which caused that fight to be stopped. Carl Frampton was able to open up that cut again, but it was a little bit further over. It didn't put the fight in jeopardy, and Herring was able to get him out of there before the cut brought questions. It was a very good. I hope you all were able to watch it. I was impressed. I like the way Herring handled himself. Now let's see what happens. They were trying to say that Shakur Stevenson, after his fight in June, would be his mandatory, but somebody else had called him out, I think, and he's going to take that fight first. He's good friends with Shakur Stevenson, and then he talked about moving up. So it doesn't look like Shakur Stevenson is going to get a chance to fight Jamel Herring. Herring is 35, retired U.S. Marine. He's just a very good boxer. But Shakur Stevenson is a once-in-a-generation talent. He's tall, he's long, and he's fighting at 126, and he's moved up to 130, and people can't handle him at this weight. You'll find Teofimo Lopez dodging him as well. I don't think Lopez will really ever want to fight Shakur Stevenson. And you can't blame him. Jamel Herring made a statement yesterday about moving up to 135, and going there. And he'd rather do that than fight Shakur. But here's the thing. Shakur's always going to be on your tail because he's growing. He's like 21, 22 years old. So he's growing. His frame is still filling out. So he's going to be moving up. So eventually, if you have a title, you're going to have to see him because that's what he's doing is collecting belts. And it's going to be interesting. Who is Herring going to beat at 135? I don't see him getting a fight with Ryan Garcia, and I don't see him beating Tank Davis. So it'll be interesting. But shout out to Jamel Herring for retaining his WBO title yesterday over in Abu Dhabi. Pray safe journey for you home. And we'll be looking to see who, in fact, is your next opponent on the radar. Who's the next opponent, rather, because I'd like to see him get in the ring again and fight by July, June, July. I think it'd be a good turnaround, and I think he'd be able to deal with it. So, listen, gearing up for WWE WrestleMania. It's here in Tampa next weekend, the 10th and 11th of April, 2-night event. They're looking like it's going to be 7 matches at least on each card. They're not, if I'm not mistaken, they're not selling weekend passes. So you're not going to be able to buy a ticket on Saturday and come back on Sunday and use it. No, you're going to have to buy 2 separate tickets because they had limited fans. Now, I don't know yet if the window has opened, the gate is open to allow them to capacity or half capacity, or if they're still at 25,000. But I know a lot of people are eager because if they open it up, those tickets will still sell out right away. And you'll have a 2-night event full. So it's a win-win for WWE. Some matches still have yet to be made, which is good and bad. It gives you more anticipation of who's going to be there. But then again, you kind of want to know who you're paying to see and who you're paying to see go against. I do want to reiterate the Hall of Fame ceremony is usually Friday. I don't know if it's going to be with fans. I'll check on that for Wednesday's show. But I do know I'm excited because Glenn Jacobs, Kane, is going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. That is big for me because he's been a constant worker since he entered the WWE. Constant. I'm talking from 1995 or 96 on. Constant. Actually, it was before that because he was the Dr. Dentist, Isaac Yankem, before he became somebody else and then became Kane. So he was already in the WWE. You're talking about almost a 30, it might be more than a 30-year career in WWE. And just consistent, just still trying to do drop kicks at 6'10", still athletic. Because of his body type, it doesn't show aging. Like he's never been like this muscle-bound brute. He's always been like the guy you just didn't want to mess with because you could see he was strong. He was arms, shoulders, and chest, but not ripped, just built, just thick, I guess you'd say. Like football, basketball, well, more of a football body, but without the gut. He's just always been in shape. even through his injuries. So yeah, I'm hoping that fans get to go see that ceremony, but if not, I will be watching it on TV. The Hall of Fame induction ceremony that usually happens the night before WrestleMania. I will check on that to have an update on Wednesday. Look, I'm excited about WrestleMania. It's a shame I wasn't able to get tickets because I've always been waiting for it to come to Tampa. Tampa's a hotbed for wrestling all around the world, man. More wrestlers live in this one community, if I'm not mistaken, than any other community in the world. It's just huge for wrestling. So it's only right that it's here. It should have been here years ago, but it's only right that it's here now. And I'm so glad they brought it back because they said when the pandemic hit last year and they canceled it, statements were made that they're just not coming, they're not going to come back to Tampa. They have to catch it next time around. Well, it helped that, and it's horrible to say because I don't agree with the state being opened like it was, but because the state was open for combat sports, which they call essential businesses, they were able to stick it back in Tampa this year. So if you get a chance, get out and see it. I know a lot of Uber drivers who can't wait for it to get here. So, look, that's going to be awesome. WrestleMania is going to be here in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium. At least it's outdoors. Be careful. Be considerate. Be conscious of what's going on. And this person cannot wait to watch it on TV. I'm not going to brave the pandemic and get out there. I can't wait to watch it on TV. I've been very vocal about that, and I'm not changing my stance. Okay. Had to make sure I got to mine because I didn't want to jump on somebody else's time, even though I'm the only one here. I want to jump on somebody else's time. So, listen. Read a story to you. It happened in real life. A son took his old father to a restaurant for an evening dinner. Father, being very old and weak while eating, dropped food on his shirt and trousers. Other diners watched him in disgust while his son was calm. After he finished eating, his son, who was not at all embarrassed, quietly took him to the washroom, wiped the food particles, removed the stains, combed his hair, and fitted his spectacles firmly. When they came out, the entire restaurant was watching them in dead silence, not able to grasp how someone could embarrass themselves publicly like that. The son settled the bill and started walking out with his father. At that time, an old man amongst the diners called out to the son and asked him, "Don't you think you have left something behind?" The son replied, "No, sir, I haven't." The old man retorted, "Yes, you have. You left a lesson for every son and hope for every father." It is a blessing, a true blessing, that we get to the age that we can take care of those who took care of us. And on this day, I truly reflect and think about the honor that I will have if God allows me to care for my parents as they cared for me. I saw my mom care for my grandfather with my cousin. And even though it was hard to see and hard physically and emotionally to do, it was an honor for her. And biblically, it states the honor, but it was an honor for her to be able to care for the father that raised her. So, just to remember, take this jewel, this nugget. When your parents ask you to assist them with something, try to remember that there was a time when they did everything for you when you could not do that for yourself. And it may not be your biological parents. Maybe they gave up on you, but somebody had to care for you before you knew how to care for yourself. And it is an honor to be able to reach back, reach up, reach out, and assist them in their time, and not to let them know, hey, I'm helping you because you helped me, but just to do it. They'll know in their heart. You'll know in your heart. Don't claim glory on this side. It's all on the other side. Listen, thank you all for joining me today. Thank you for riding with me for the Fighter Share Report. Tomorrow we'll be on for the Beatdown, 11 a.m. Normal time. And listen, reach out to your people. There's somebody lonely, and you may not even know who, but just reach out to people. A word from you can mean the difference between life and death.